the last panel, I think the quote was, the policy came in too quick, too soon. I mean, have you got anything to say about that? I mean, clearly before the election, none of the main parties mentioned this as a policy.
I would completely agree with that. It should have stayed in place until another option was put on the table for how it would be removed. The messaging around it was short, sudden. It left a lot of anxiety and fear for older people, and it was a bit of a shock for many.
May I just say a word about that? I mean, we essentially begged the government not to do this until at least the spring, and ideally not to do it at all. And I think the reason for that was because if there'd been more time, it would have allowed two things to happen. Firstly, it would have allowed all of us to do even more than we already do, and our organisations locally and nationally, to help people to claim their benefits. As it is, it's been such a rush. It's overwhelmed DWP. They've tried really hard. They brought new people in, but we know that the system wasn't built to adjust to a sudden upsurge of demand that wasn't otherwise expected. So it would have helped that. And I think some older people, if they'd known that they were going to have less money later on in the year, would have made some economies earlier on. They might have made some slightly different choices about how they spent their money, so they had a bit more on one side to help defray their bills. As it was, it all happened too late for either of those things really to happen. And I think that's why we've been so worried about what happens to people this winter, especially.